Imagine a world without tacos. Living in the United States where there's so many Taco Bells, so many authentic restaurants, it's really hard to think about a life without tacos, especially on Taco Tuesday. So last year, according to a study by National Taco Day, there was 490 billion tacos eaten last year by Americans only. So that's enough to take you to the moon and back. So I want to take time to talk to you guys today, not about what you've been fooled with maybe your entire life or what you always thought taco was, but I want to talk to you guys today about what authentic tacos are. So tacos, according to Oxford Dictionary, is defined as a Mexican dish consisting of a folded or rolled up tortilla with various mixtures. You can have steak, you can have chicken, or even beans. So if you look at my right, your left, you can see a picture of what everyone tends to think that tacos are. And although I love Taco Bell as much as the other person, the picture on my left is what tacos are really like. So some of the characteristics of this taco would be a hard shell taco or also a soft tortilla filled with beef or ground beef, sometimes even chicken, topped up with shredded lettuce, sour cream, tomato, whether you like it or not, however you choose it. But some of the characteristics of this taco, which is on my left, is a soft corn tortilla filled with either grilled steak or chicken or various types of different meats from cows, and topped off with whatever toppings that you would like. So if this is the authentic taco, what is the history behind it, or how did it come to be, and how did it turn into that? So the history of tacos. So tacos started off, the word was first used in the 18th century by some local native Mexican miners. They worked in a mining field. So they used the word taco to refer to using a piece of paper, and they put gunpowder in it since they were miners. And that's when the first use of the word tacos came to be. According to a study by the University of Minnesota by this really cool guy named Jeffrey M. Preisler, he has traveled all around the world, tasting various tacos and kind of studying the history behind it. And he says that corn is something that is very important to native Mexicans. They use corn a lot. They have different dishes. Almost everything consisted of corn. So living in Mexico and where they were, that was the one thing that they could plant and can grow a lot, which is why tacos were so popular back then, because like I said, it is a corn tortilla where you add the rest of the meats and whatever. So it was something that was super easy to be able to make, and that was always there and even cheap. So how did tacos come to the United States? So in 1920s, that's when the first appearances of tacos started to become here. So immigrants coming from Mexico after the Spanish War with Texas started to bring their dishes over. And many times living in the United States back then, they weren't able to import as many goods. So for example, we have a store just right across the street that sells imported goods from Mexico, Salvador, from different other places. But back then they weren't able to do that. So they had to kind of substitute the goods that they had. For example, the hard shell versus the soft shell. Or the beef that they used, the ground beef versus the steak that was used back then. The cheese on top, or the lettuce, or the sour cream, or the tomato, those were all the extra toppings that made up for what was going on. So I can say that maybe they didn't do it in a bad way, but they were just trying to adapt to the American way when they came here. So if you do want to get some tacos in Council Bluffs, I want to talk to you guys about where you guys can get some. So Juvenitos, you can go there. You can go to Taqueria Tijuana, which is in Omaha. You can go to Taqueria del Rey or Santa Fe. And anywhere you go on 24th Street, I'm sure you can find a local taco truck. So I'm not only going to tell you guys where to get tacos in Council Bluffs and the Omaha metro area, but I'm going to go real quick and inform you guys on how you guys can make some quick tacos of your own. So according to an interview by an expert Mexican food person, chef, my mom, she says that the ingredients that you'll need would be corn tortillas, your choice of meat. So usually my favorite is like steak, but you can also do chicken. You can do a lot of people like cow tongue or stuff like that. There's so many different things that you can put in, and that's what makes tacos so unique. When I was in Mexico, I told them, so what time do tacos start being sold? And she's like, well, we have morning tacos, we have lunch tacos, we have night tacos that go to 2 a.m. So any types of tacos, I'm sure you can find them. So whatever you want to stuff it with, you can do that. The next ingredients that you will need is topping. So this is optional. You can add chopped onions, you can add cilantro, you can add guacamole, you can add beans, you can add whatever you want to add to the toppings on top. So the first step would be cut up your meat, preferably in cubes. You cut up your steak, you cut up your chicken, you cut up them up in cubes, and you can put as much seasoning as you want, which is step two. So if you like your meat super seasoned, if you don't like it seasoned at all, you can do that. The next step would be cook your meat. Like I said, with the seasoning, you can cook it. If you like it more raw, you can cook it more raw. If you like it well done, you can cook it well done. The next thing, you just heat up your pan, and you can put your tortilla in there and start cooking the meat. So cook your tortilla, and then the last step would be to top it off. So you can put whatever you want on there, just like we said, any toppings that you want. A lot of taco trucks have all their toppings up front, so they just give you the tortilla with the meat, and you can top it up just like you want it. So today we talked about the right, the wrong, and the tacos. So we talked about how so many times we think that authentic tacos is Taco Bell. And like I said, I love Taco Bell. I'll probably go there after school today, but they're not authentic tacos. The next thing we talked about was the history of tacos and how native Mexican miners used that word in the 18th century to refer to the piece of paper with gunpowder in it. We talked a little bit about how Taco Bell or how tacos came to be here in the United States and how popular they got after that. The way they were a little bit twisted because we all have our different ways, obviously, but authentically, that's what they are. And lastly, on your own, so I told you where you can get some really good tacos, and I recommend those places highly. But I also try to give you guys a little bit more options on 5 easy steps for you to just make your own tacos quick and easy at home. So now go out. I encourage you to go out and enjoy some tacos. So this is just a video of a guy making tacos really fast. So maybe one day you guys will be able to do that too.